Okay, guys, I'm going to have to throw this out there first because it's a really good one. Foreign buyers tax may become a reality in Montreal as housing market beats Toronto and Vancouver. Guys, it's happening. See, it happened in Vancouver. They put the foreign buyers tax. It happened in Toronto. They put the foreign buyers tax. And now it's happening north in Montreal, north of Toronto. And see what's happening, guys. See? You see? You see? Everyone's saying, well, it's Mike. It's not the foreign buyers that's doing this. Then who is it? Why is it that they implement the foreign buyers tax in Vancouver? Everyone either went to Seattle or Toronto. Then when they implemented the foreign buyers tax in Toronto, everyone went to Buffalo, and then they either went north to Montreal and Ottawa and stuff like that. And Quebec, Quebec's the province of Quebec, right? So what's going on here? Do we really want to be like Toronto? That's a really good kickoff on the question right there. That's the question on the minds of Montrealers these days when they take a look at what's going on in their city's housing market. One, that Canada's Mortgage Housing Corp CMHC said the summer is close to overheating, which Toronto slowly emerged from a real estate slump has bitten into price and slaves over the past year and a half. Vancouver's housing market in the dumps. Montreal is emerging as the country's hottest major city housing market. So I got somebody on over here in the comments sometimes that comments from Montreal and had him on the show. And he was telling me that, yeah, it's out of control there and people are bidding on homes. And, home sales in the city jumped 11% in October. The same month a year earlier, the city's real estate board reported on Wednesday the condo segment, which is today's date, by the way, it's today's article, segment was particularly strong with sales up 22% in a year. Compare that with Toronto, where October sales were up the modest 6%. After the city saw a slump in the first year, in Vancouver, October sales were down 34.9% from a year earlier. Montreal condo market has moved from a buyer's market to a seller's market in just 1 year. President of the Board of Directors of Greater Montreal said in a statement. And while some homeowners may enjoy the boost into their wealth, remember, guys, it's on paper boost. You're only worth what you are. It's only worth what you could sell it for, right? And right now, it is a seller's market in Montreal. With wealth prospects of Toronto following Toronto and Vancouver's footsteps to $1 million bungalows and $500,000 condos is alarming to many in the city that has a long focused on home affordability as a priority. Economists cite that the number of reasons for the city's housing boom, particularly Quebec's strong economy over the past few years, which has seen the province's unemployment rate hit record lows this last year and last while wage growth accelerated. But the political narrative forming around the phenomena is focusing on one thing: foreign buyers. Much has been said about Montreal about the influx of Parisians into the city's trendy and increasingly pricey Plateau Montreal neighborhood, but the focus has shifted to Chinese buyers. Faced with the new taxes in the Toronto-Vancouver region, foreign buyers have turned their attention to Montreal, which Chinese real estate portal Jiawei this summer said that the hottest city in Canada for Chinese real estate investors. The number of homes sold to Chinese buyers jumped 64.5%! Woo! In the past year, according to CMHC, cited La Presse, the comparison home sold French and U.S. national declined by 17 and 14% in the same period, respectively. Montrealers must be able to own in their own city. Good luck with that in the next 6 months, Montrealers. Since the beginning of a year ago, growth has come almost exclusively from non-resident buyers from China. Mayor Valerie Planete's press secretary noted last month, with the overall share of homes sold to foreign buyers in Greater Montreal remains low, below 2%, according to CMHC, and the similar scale to Toronto and Vancouver today. The downtown Montreal 1 in 8 condos are now sold to foreign, according to recent CMHC number. So 1 in 8 will be left empty, completely empty. So that's going to be a shortage and create artificial bubbles. And that's what's going on right here. Mayor Valerie Plante doesn't want to wait to see if the city is headed for a Toronto-style affordability crisis. She has reiterated her call for foreign buyers tax to be implemented along with the lines of the ones in the Toronto and Vancouver regions. Her party, Project Montreal, first proposed such a tax in the spring of 2017. We want the power to do this in time, Plantine said last week, quoted by TVA. And that's what I was saying. Once they implemented that foreign buyers tax in Vancouver like 2 years ago, I said everybody went to Toronto. And that article's there that I read 2.5 or 2 years ago and change. That article's still up that I read. It's still there on YouTube. You can go on my channel and see it. Everybody ran over to Toronto or Seattle, south of us. Like in BC and Ontario, the city doesn't even have the power to implement such a tax, so policymakers have to convince the province to make the tax a reality. City officials will soon be meeting with Quebec's finance minister to discuss the issue, of Radio-Canada reported. The ministry says it is preparing an assessment to determine whether the action is even needed. Even the local real estate developers is calling for restrictions on foreign buyers. We must avoid at all costs this happening in Vancouver and Toronto, where 90% of the projects are sold to investors. Radio-Canada quoted Laurence Vincente, co-president of real estate developer, as saying Montrealans should be able to own in their own city. So you see what's happening? Montreal saw what's happening here. Montreal saw and's been watching. Montreal's not asleep. They've been watching what's been happening. They've been taking notes, and they said, watch the wave come to us. The tsunami is going to hit Montreal eventually. It left Vancouver straight to Toronto, bypassed all the other cities in the middle of Canada. But not everyone agrees that there is a problem and that needs solving. Some insiders point out that the housing in Montreal is still much more affordable than Toronto in October was $329. So what are you going to do? Make it unaffordable? What's the point? What? Okay, let's make it unaffordable, then we'll do something about it. Compared to an average price of $1,019 million in Greater Toronto, the benchmark is still a price of $1.52 million in Greater Vancouver. Simon Ledger, head of Montreal. See, guys, and I've been pushing this for so long. Okay, guys, with the amount of taxes, the price of food, the price of gasoline, the price of natural gas, the price of heating, all this crap, the average person, the average family with the average income of about $800,000 a year could only afford $300,000, 80 to 120, 80 to 95,000 a year gross, could only afford $350,000 mortgage. That right now is still an affordability level, so people could afford to live a normal life. Price growth is not enough, but the pace of maintain it doubles after a year. Then you sure we need some measures, Radio-Canada quoted as him saying. So that's the article right there, guys. Guys, Montreal, open your eyes, watch my past shows going back for the last 3-4 years, and see what has happened.